What if I told you that some of the things you use every single day were never meant to exist? Think about that for a second. We tend to imagine that the greatest inventions in history came from carefully drawn plans, brilliant scientists working in secret labs, or massive teams of engineers perfecting every detail. But sometimes history doesn't follow the script. Sometimes the world changes not because of genius, but because of mistakes, accidents, failures that somehow turned into billion-dollar successes. And the strange part? These mistakes didn't just make life easier. They reshaped entire industries, changed human behavior, and in some cases, even saved lives. Today, we're diving into some of the world's most famous accidental inventions. And once you see how much of our world is built on chance, you might wonder, what other accidents are happening right now that could secretly shape the future? Post-it notes. Let's start with something small, harmless, something sitting on your desk right now. In the late 1960s, a scientist working at 3M named Spencer Silver was trying to develop a powerful adhesive. His goal? A glue so strong it could hold just about anything in place. Instead, he created the exact opposite, a weak, almost laughable adhesive that barely stuck to anything. Imagine pouring your time and effort into creating something useful, only for it to fail at the most basic purpose. But here's the twist. Years later, another 3M employee, Art Fry, was frustrated because his bookmarks kept falling out of his hymn book while he was singing in the church choir. He remembered Silver's weak adhesive, the one that didn't stick too much. He tried applying it to small pieces of paper, and suddenly the world's most famous sticky note was born. Post-it notes now cover offices, refrigerators, classrooms, and study desks across the globe. What started as a scientific failure turned into a tool that changed how humans communicate, brainstorm, and organize their lives. But if one failed glue could revolutionize how we work, what about an accident that forever changed how we eat? Popsicles. It's 1905, a cold night in San Francisco. An 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson mixes powdered soda with water, stirs it with a wooden stick, and forgets it outside. Overnight, the mixture freezes solid. The next morning, Frank pulls out the frozen treat, and history's first popsicle is born. Think about that. An 11-year-old kid too careless to bring his drink inside accidentally creates a billion-dollar industry. Today, popsicles aren't just a summer snack. They've become a cultural symbol of childhood, of relief in heat waves, of nostalgia. Billions are sold worldwide every year. But that wasn't the only frozen accident that would shake up the world. Because sometimes frozen food wasn't about taste, but about technology. Silly Putty. The year was 1943. World War II was raging, and scientists were desperately searching for a rubber substitute to support the war effort. But instead of a tough, durable material, one scientist created a gooey, stretchy substance that bounced in unexpected ways. Too unstable for military use, it was set aside as useless. But someone realized that kids loved the weird texture. That goo became Silly Putty. It started as a novelty, a party gag, but eventually it became one of the best-selling toys of the 20th century. Millions of eggs filled with Silly Putty have been sold, and it even found practical uses. Astronauts once used it aboard Apollo missions to secure tools in zero gravity. A failed wartime experiment that became a toy and then ended up in space. But not every accident was playful. Some were deadly serious and life-saving. Safety glass. One day in 1903, a French chemist, Edouard Benedictus, dropped a glass flask coated with cellulose nitrate plastic. To his surprise, instead of shattering into sharp pieces, the glass cracked but held together. At first, it was just a curious incident, but later, when car accidents began to skyrocket in the early 20th century, Benedictus remembered his unbreakable glass. His discovery evolved into laminated safety glass, the same kind now protecting drivers in cars, workers in construction, and even astronauts in spacecraft. From a clumsy drop on a lab floor to saving millions of lives worldwide. Safety glass is a silent hero of modern civilization. But while glass was preventing accidents, another accidental creation was designed to encourage indulgence and addiction. Potato chips. Imagine you're a chef in 1853. A customer keeps sending back your fried potatoes, complaining that they're too thick. Annoyed, you slice them thinner and thinner, fry them crispier and crispier, until they're practically paper thin. Instead of rejecting them, the customer loves them. That's how George Crumb accidentally invented potato chips. Today, the world eats more than 16 billion pounds of potato chips every single year. That's billions of dollars from one annoyed chef trying to shut up a difficult customer. Potato chips became so powerful that entire industries of flavoring, marketing, and food science grew around them. And if you think that's fascinating, just wait. Because if snacks, toys, and even safety itself can all come from accidents, what about the secrets that were never meant to be uncovered? And that's exactly what my ebook Hidden Truths explores. The strange twists of fate, the forgotten stories, and the accidents that reshaped history in ways most people never knew. If you thought Post-its and potato chips were surprising, wait until you see the mysteries hidden in plain sight. You'll find the link below. But here's the question I want to leave you with. If so much of our daily life comes from chance, what mistakes are happening in labs, kitchens, and backyards right now that could redefine the next century?